There was a time when I, like many of you, struggled to get out of bed in the morning. I would open my eyes, glance at the clock, and think, just 5 more minutes. Those 5 minutes would turn into 15, then 30, and before I knew it, I'd already sabotaged the most critical part of my day. I'd lie there in bed, curtains drawn tightly closed, phone in hand, passively scrolling through social media, absorbing other people's lives instead of actively engaging in my own. I felt lethargic, disconnected, and somehow always behind before the day had even truly started. I realized that if you wanted to instruct someone on how to completely ruin their morning and sabotage their productivity, you'd tell them to do exactly what I was doing back then. Stay in bed, avoid sunlight, stay still, scroll aimlessly on social media, and neglect movement and hydration. These habits weren't just damaging my productivity, they were actively reshaping my brain, lowering my mood, and crushing my energy. I was unknowingly creating an environment inside myself that made focus, clarity, and productivity nearly impossible. The body and brain, I soon learned, respond powerfully to the signals we send first thing in the morning. If you stay lying down, your brain literally stays less alert. This isn't my opinion, it's biology. When you sit up or stand, you activate something called the locus coeruleus, a critical region of the brain that makes you feel awake, energized, and ready to tackle the day. Slouching, leaning forward, constantly looking downward at your phone. This posture was stealing energy, draining my enthusiasm, and keeping me locked into a negative cycle. I remember vividly when I finally understood that mornings don't just affect your day, they shape your life. It wasn't enough to intellectually grasp this concept. I had to feel it, practice it, and ultimately transform it into a ritual. So I made a conscious decision, an intentional promise to myself. Mornings would be my priority. They would no longer be left to chance, randomness, or passivity. The single most powerful step I took, and I urge everyone listening to consider this, was to simply get outside and expose my eyes to natural sunlight within minutes of waking. It sounds so simple that you might dismiss it, but sunlight, real morning sunlight, triggers something incredible in our bodies. It initiates a cascade of hormones and neurotransmitters, especially cortisol, in just the right amounts at the right time. Sunlight told my body it was morning. It set my internal clock, energized me, and profoundly improved my sleep quality at night. Suddenly, I was sleeping deeper, waking more refreshed, and feeling consistently better throughout the day. But there's an important detail here. Sunlight through a window or windshield isn't enough. Your eyes, those incredibly complex and sensitive organs, need direct outdoor light exposure. When I learned this, it changed my life. Even on cloudy days, I made sure to step outside because, surprisingly, the diffused sunlight on cloudy mornings is often sufficient if you spend just a few more minutes outside to trigger this powerful morning response. Standing on my porch, walking in my yard, or strolling down the block, each morning I committed to it. Another critical realization was how I handled my phone. Like most people, I'd immediately reach for it after waking up. Social media, messages, emails, they flooded my brain before I'd even established clarity or calmness. It created stress, anxiety, and scattered my focus. Instead, I developed a new rule. No screens in bed. I learned the phone's blue light wasn't even bright enough to help wake me up effectively in the morning, yet it was bright enough to ruin my sleep at night. This was a cruel paradox, and one I quickly corrected. Now, before I touch any technology, before my mind gets distracted by anything external, I spend intentional time outside in daylight, breathing deeply, appreciating the quiet calm of the morning. Once I mastered sunlight exposure, I introduced hydration and gentle movement into my morning routine. I used to think I needed caffeine immediately after waking, but biology proved me wrong. Drinking water first allowed my body to rehydrate after hours without fluids. Then, I started incorporating movement. Nothing extreme, nothing complicated, just enough to awaken the muscles, elevate heart rate slightly, and signal my body that it was truly time to start the day. A simple walk, a short stretch, or even a few push-ups made a profound difference. It cleared mental fog, sharpened focus, and boosted my mood dramatically. I also realized the value of monotasking, doing one thing at a time with intention. Before, my mornings were chaotic. Multitasking, making coffee while texting, checking emails while brushing teeth. I mistakenly thought I was being productive, but the truth was I was fragmenting my attention, harming my ability to concentrate deeply on anything later. Now, mornings became focused and deliberate. Each action, hydration, sunlight, movement was intentional and undistracted. The morning was no longer just happening to me. I was now happening to the morning. What amazed me was how quickly these small, simple changes added up. Within days, I felt more energized. Within weeks, my sleep improved dramatically. Within months, my productivity, creativity, and emotional resilience had soared. I started to wake up naturally, excited to begin my day, filled with anticipation rather than dread. My entire life felt lighter, clearer, and more purposeful. And the beauty of this is it's not complicated. It doesn't require expensive equipment or special products. It doesn't demand extraordinary discipline or strength of character. It's simply about aligning with our biology. Human beings evolved with sunlight, movement, and simplicity. Our modern routines have unfortunately moved away from these basics, creating an environment that subtly undermines our mental and physical well-being. I share all of this because I want everyone who listens to understand that real change is possible. Your mornings can become your greatest ally rather than your greatest challenge. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Start with sunlight, just try it for a week. Step outside for 5 or 10 minutes each morning after waking up, without sunglasses, without screens, without distractions. See how you feel. Notice your energy, your focus, your mood. If you like the changes, add another element. Hydrate, move a little, monotask. Trust me, this isn't just theory. It's proven neuroscience. This approach to mornings can change the trajectory of your entire day, your entire week, and ultimately, your entire life. I've lived this transformation myself, and I've witnessed it again and again in others who've adopted this practice. If you've ever felt stuck, low on energy, overwhelmed, or lacking direction, please know you're not alone. I've been there. But mornings, I've discovered, are your opportunity to reset, recharge, and refocus every single day. Morning sunlight isn't just something nice to have. It's a profound biological tool that can improve your mental health, physical health, emotional strength, and even your relationships. This is my story, but it can also be yours. Tomorrow morning, when your eyes open, remember, your first choice shapes everything that follows. Choose daylight, choose intention, choose yourself. Your future self will thank you more deeply than you can possibly imagine.